Did you ever stop to realize what an important part radio plays on the American scene? In the first place, what is radio? Radio is merely our voice, yours and mine, the voice of the great American public. America is the only country in the world today where the will and ideals of the people are expressed over the air. In every other country, the policies of the government dictate the voice of radio. In America, we employ popular vote, for no radio commentator could long survive the disapproval of the American people. And any program heard in the United States today is on the air because you want it there. There are two kinds of radio programs, sponsored programs and sustaining programs. Sponsors are fellow Americans who have a product to sell. They buy radio time to bring you your favorite programs and remind you of the value of their product. The American public is grateful, and wherever it is possible, the man in the street buys what the man on the air has to sell. Sustaining programs are given to you at the expense of your favorite radio stations. Few Americans realize this, nor do they know to what extent their selected stations contribute to their entertainment. To get the complete picture, let's take a trip to the Terminal Tower for a look at the facilities of the United Broadcasting Company, a public-spirited organization which donates service and materials to churches, universities, and clubs, and furnishes in sustaining programs 60% of the entertainment that comes to you over their stations. The United Broadcasting Company is an Ohio-owned organization operating radio station WHKC in Columbus, and in Cleveland, stations WHK, Ohio's pioneer station, and WCLE, both located in the Terminal Tower. Take over, UBC.
Listen, America. Your announcer is Nicky Burnett. Many of you, especially in the Cleveland district, will recognize the sound of my voice. To you and the others, I want to say that I shall be glad to take you for a trip through the studios of WCLE and WHK, the pioneer station. 610 kilocycles and 1420 kilocycles on each end of your dial. These two stations have combined studios in Cleveland's Terminal Tower. WHK is the fifth oldest station in the United States, Ohio's first commercial station, and along with WCLE is Cleveland's sole locally owned radio station. Coming into the air-conditioned United Broadcasting Company lobby, we find that the inside of a radio station looks very much like any other big business organization. A charming receptionist at a desk extends a welcome to the public. This isn't a store, but every week the products of a different sponsor are placed on display. In the office of Mr. H.K. Carpenter, Vice President and General Manager of the United Broadcasting Company, the various heads of departments gather every morning for a daily conference. In the group are the Chief Engineer and the Business Manager. Mr. Carpenter compares the United Broadcasting Company to a huge railroad system. His staff is trained with one basic idea in view: to give better service to the American radio audience. The man who carries the burden of coordinating all the broadcasting facilities of the two stations is the program director. He must fit the programs together and sometimes, on very short notice, rearrange his schedule. For example, one day a baseball game may last 2 hours, and the next day 4, upsetting a carefully prearranged schedule.
And that's all for Lefty Lee. Manager Jimmy Dyke stops the ball game. He's waving down the bullpen for a pitcher to come up. There's one walking up now. I can't see who that is. Can you see who that is, Pinky?
Why, yes, Jack. Wait till I get a flash at his number. That's Johnny Rigney.
And that, of course, is Jack Graney and his cohort Pinky Hunter recreating an out-of-town baseball game. In this studio, Jack and Pinky receive a skeleton report by direct wire from an out-of-town baseball park. This report is received in Morse code, and an operator is on hand to transcribe it. His typed copy, in turn, is handed to Graney, who fills in all essential background and adds the color. Over the years, Graney and Hunter have been able to make these descriptions so realistic that at times it's difficult to tell that they're not actually at the ballpark watching each play as it's made. Many of radio's top executives come from the ranks of the announcers. Even Mr. Carpenter, our station manager, was an announcer for 9 years. Suppose we take a look at some of the star announcers on the staff of the United Broadcasting Company. This is Don Dewhurst. At the moment he releases the record, he signals the engineer to put the music on the air. All the announcers are clock watchers. They have to be. The meter in front of the engineer is the volume indicator, or the VI as it's called in radio. It measures the amount of sound going out to the radio set in your home. But now Dewhurst's program is over, and he signals the operator to fade the record out. Alan Jenkins, a veteran announcer, illustrates the correct distance from the microphone and the proper head position. Here's Francis Patay. He signals for the mic, starts the first record, and Matinee Dance Time is on the air. Next, the typical announcer's routine featuring Karl Marx. After finishing his commercial announcement, he starts his record and then signals the control engineer to diminish the volume of the music as he announces its title. To ensure absolute accuracy, he checks the name again while the record is turning. Quite a feat. The announcers have a lounge of their own where they can gather between broadcasts and roll their tongues over some of the proper names appearing in the day's news. Names like Kubishev, Sidi Rezik, and Benghazi, Volokolamsk, and Oh, so that's it. Have you ever thought to yourself what wonderful actors announcers must be to sound so bright and cheerful early in the morning? Well, it isn't all acting. Look at the way the boys enjoy their coffee. The only trouble is no one seems to know who should buy the next pound. In his office, the musical director selects his programs carefully to assure variety and tempo. A 1, a 2, a 3. You may have wondered how the orchestras keep from repeating the same tunes over and over. The answer lies in the station library and copyright department. Here, the United Broadcasting Company files thousands of orchestrations, songs, and recordings, and an accurate record is kept of all music used. After music has been cleared, the continuity department is notified so that the music list may be entered in the book.